Now, I want to take your mind back to Super Bowl 57. Yes, 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 we know who already won. But prior to the game, for the great coin toss, you may or may not have recognized or realized that we had a Mississippi student there on the field. And joining us today to tell us about her experiment, it wasn't an experiment, it was an experience, Fabersha Flynt. She is a USM doctoral student. Hey, Fabersha.
Hi.
Although it probably felt like an experiment, but it was an experience that I'm sure you will never forget. How cool was this?
Yeah, it was great. Since I've been back, that's the question that most people have asked me, Fabersha, how did it feel? What did it feel like? What were you thinking? And all of those things. And it was very surreal. 73,000 plus people in the stands and 113 million people viewing from sports bars, homes, you name it. Yeah, it was real.
No pressure to actually flip it correctly. So
Exactly.
Did you practice the flipping? I would have totally practiced at home.
Yeah, I did. Actually, the day on that Friday when we went out to the field to just kind of go through the run-of-the-mill of what would happen on Sunday, I got a chance to meet with the ref, Carl Sheffers, and, he just told me to relax, keep it cool, gave me some pointers. Even on Saturday when I got a chance to see J.J. Watt, I was telling him that I was the one that was actually flipping, just getting just a few pointers from him. But I had some little Amazon poker chips that were about the size of the coin. And so that's what I used to kind of play around and practice with.
Okay, so for those of us who don't know the importance of the coin toss or the coin flip, Fabersha, what was your role? When you flipped that coin, what was it going to determine?
Well, it was going to determine, first of all, whoever picked, whether they were going to keep or defer. But then I learned so much about this. People actually bet on the coin toss. And, so if it was heads, of course, people, whoever had bet heads, they were going to win X amount of dollars and, of course, tails. I actually had someone to find me on Facebook, and because we're not friends, I guess they could message me, and they said, hey, thanks so much for the coin toss. I hadn't won in 5 years, and today I won.
Wow. I couldn't imagine. I was expecting you to say maybe they found you earlier and was like, hey, could you work on maybe landing on heads or tails? Speaking of that, you mentioned it's about the size of a poker chip. That's the coin that's tossed there at the Super Bowl. What does it actually sort of look like? Is there a heads and a tails? Is it just an oversized quarter, or is there more meaning to it?
So I actually have it with me, and of course you can't see it. But it's about the size. It's maybe a little bit bigger than $50. So on the front part of it, it had, the Super Bowl Roman numerals, and of course, the signature of the commissioner. And then on the back of it, it had, Kansas City Chiefs, and then under there, the Philadelphia Eagles, National Football League, wrapped, around it. So it is outlined in gold, and in the middle it's silver.
Pretty cool. Okay. And that was going to be my other question for you, Fabersha, was did you get to keep it? Because I feel like that should be a great sort of parting gift for your experience there at the Super Bowl.
So I did not get to keep it. I actually
Did you steal it?
They allowed us to take pictures with it, all of us, the scholars. However, they gave me my own coin to keep. But what I heard is they actually take that coin, and it's minted as because the addition of the coin is actually imprinted on there. But they take that coin and they auction it off to diehard football fans. And so that's what I heard. Now, how true that is, I don't know. So, no, I didn't actually get to keep that coin, but I did have my own official game coin.
Well, Well, it's
that was
still
given to me.
a really neat experience that very, very few people, in fact, there's probably fewer coin tossers than there are Super Bowl players out of all 57, games that have ever been, or matchups that's ever been, because there's only a few of you. So tell us about how your road to even be selected, because it's a wonderful story and it's tied to, your studies there at USM. So how did you find yourself on the field there for Super Bowl 57?
So in 2001, I applied for the Pat Tillman scholarship through the Pat Tillman Foundation. And if you know anything about his story, just briefly, Pat played in the NFL. He left the NFL, went into the military, and unfortunately he was killed while there. And so his then wife, Marie, founded the foundation really to help military service members, veterans, and their spouses kind of just keep going to keep Pat's legacy going. And so in 2021, I applied, was selected out of out of a bunch of people to apply, but they pick 60 scholars each year. And so when I was selected, that's how I became connected to the foundation. And fast forward, just through, I still don't know how I was selected out of the four of us, what was, done in that respect. But four of us were picked, and we were honorary captains for that day. And I did not find out that I was actually flipping the coin until that Friday. Somebody blurted it out, and I looked really crazy because I didn't know. And, and that's how I was picked for that. But my connection to the foundation is with me applying. And then, of course, my connection being service-related was through my late husband, Staff Sergeant Brian Lewis, who was also killed in Iraq in 2006.
We thank him for his service, but also the fact that, you chose Southern Miss as a place to go for your education. What are you studying there, Fabersha?
Higher Education Administration.
Well, that sounds fancy. So how much longer do you have?
So it was nice when I got my little informational sheet from Carl Hill, and he said, I saw a little thing on there that said, fall, apply for graduation. So that means that in May of 2024, I will be graduating with my doctorate in higher education administration.
Congratulations. That is a huge accomplishment. Being a Golden Eagle myself, I feel like you went to the finest institution here in Mississippi. They put out great scholars who go on to do wonderful things post-graduation. But Southern Miss to the top. But also, I think it's just a really cool experience that you got to have being there. Did you get to sit somewhere cool and fancy for the actual Super Bowl, or did they rush you out after the coin toss?
Oh no, we got the red carpet treatment from the NFL. So huge shout out to the NFL, to the commissioner, Mr. Roger Goodell. Thank you, Pat Tillman Foundation. I mean, we were really treated like royalty that day. We got really great seats, and we just had a ball. We stayed through the whole game, and it was nice. It was a wonderful experience, one that I will never forget.
So I know at home watching at least the halftime show, Rihanna looked really high. How high did she look sitting in the stadium when she went all the way to the top on her little platform?
Oh, yeah. It was scary because we had seats in the end zone, and we were sitting in some very nice seats. And she was high. Oh, yeah. It was frightening to look at, but of course, having seen, just all of the things that people probably didn't see at home, she was very secure.
Well, no matter what you thought about that halftime show, we can all agree she's not afraid of heights. And so,
no.
And we can all agree, though, that what a cool experience. And you got to witness such a great game. I don't know who you were necessarily pulling for, but it probably didn't matter. Do you have one quick other sort of behind-the-scenes fun memory from Super Bowl 57?
Well, on my way back to get ready to leave the stadium after the game was over. I knew who it was, and we spoke briefly, but I got to ride back in my golf cart with Doug Williams and his wife. And, Doug also played in the Super Bowl, and he was the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. Well, Fabersha, I appreciate your time. I know you've had lots of travels over the last couple of weeks, so thank you for making the time. Southern Miss to the top. Enjoy your graduation, and keep in touch.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a fabulous day.
All righty, you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.